So this week, Fat Joe said something really interesting. I think it can be instructive to a lot of artists, creatives, everything. So let's take a listen.
If your man says he's raps and he don't have a deal, there's a problem with that. So if your man says he raps and he doesn't have a deal, meaning not a dollar coming in, not a show, not nothing going on there's a problem with that. It's called Plan A, get a job. Plan B, hope you make it. This has never changed. Some guys be like, yo, I gotta get a regular job. Bro, you gotta.
Yep, you gotta go get that gig. UPS is hiring. The Prophet Big, you did say that.
So go get a job. What do you think about that?
I agree with him. I think you can do, unless you're out there doing illegal activity, you got to get a job to fund this because it costs money to do this. It costs money to fund everything. So I don't see the problem with him. I think people have a problem with it because they're living off somebody and that person is like, he's hearing that in the streets like, yo, man, I rap, blah, 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 or somebody that he knows probably is going through this where the wife or the girlfriend is doing all the stuff and he at home chasing a dream, and it's just funny. But I think for us, for our group of people of our race, I feel like sometimes we don't see no other way out but entertainment.
Yeah.
So I think rapping, playing basketball is like, that's the way. You know what I mean? And I think me and Maya was talking about this. I was like, I feel like years ago. And I'm old man conversation. I feel like years ago when we were coming up, if you said you rap, you had to be good.
Yeah.
And if you weren't good, not saying everybody who put out a record back in the day were good. I'm saying if you weren't good, people called you on. You're like, yo, you're not good, bro. You may want to try and do X, Y, Z. I think when we got into like the mid 2000s and somebody came out, I ain't gonna mention the person, came out and people were like, he did that? He could do that? I can do that too. And I think that was the chain of events that was like, if he can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. I think it was the internet. It was the iPhone. It was ease of access.
But I think you still need a model, and it was a model. Somebody was the model.
Boy.
Somebody was the model. Somebody was first. Who loved being first at doing stuff.
Yeah,
I think people saw that person. I ain't saying no names, and was like, if he can do that, if he can make that beat. Come up with that, and being successful. Yeah, I could do that too, and it was a ripple effect.
Yeah, it was because we know some. I mean, like people like Vic.
Yeah,
he took that same route too, and it worked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think this is larger than just. Hip hop, right? This is everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true too. That they feel like. You have to go all in and you have to stay all in, and if you give up, then you're giving up on your dream.
Yeah,
that's what I relate to. Is that feeling of I gotta, even if it's not working, if you quit, if you turn back, you're gonna fail, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people are dealing with, whether you're an artist or anything. Now, the way we have chosen to do this, and there's people have done it totally different ways. The way we have chosen to do this is we decided we were going to work and use what we make to fund Trackstarz for the most part. I was full-time for a little bit. Ryan's been full-time a couple times, and he's full-time right now. Yeah. But in general, we have sustained us by working and you know, people in our community, people, my family, all of us chipping in and donating to help this thing carry on. And it takes a job to do that.
Yeah.
But as you know, I get married and I have family. Even using your family money to chip in starts to be like, you can't do that, right? So you have to figure out, how can I sustain my bills, get my bills paid, and then you also have to figure out how to keep this thing's bills paid as well. It gets really difficult.
But I think the interesting thing now is it's so many ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like when people talk about Uber, or they talk about Uber Eats, or they talk about different things where you make your own schedule, where you still create money, where you still can do that. Because I think people think of a traditional 9 to 5 to make money.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that sometimes will hinder you because you be like, man, I got to go in this building. I got to do this. I got to do all this stuff. I feel drained at the end of the day. Sometimes I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas if you get, I know somebody who's telling me this recently, like if you get, you got a car and you want to do Uber Eats or you want to do Uber or you want to do some type of like packaging or whatever, and they make good money, but you create your own schedule.
This is the only thing I got to say is just this from my perspective as a man, especially if you have a family and kids, it's your responsibility to make sure they're good.
Yeah, that's right.
So you may have a dream and you may have this vision, could be God-given and everything. You first have to make sure that they're good.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes that means like I've sacrificed for years and years because we've been working on this for a long time. I've been wanting to go full time, but it takes you sitting back and saying, I have to make sure my family is good no matter what.
Yeah, that's real.
And from my excess, I can give to ministry.
Yeah.
If you start putting ministry first over your family, it's going to cause problems with your family.
Yeah.
It's going to cause problem with your ministry.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt everything. So that's just a really hard. I know we're not specifically talking about ministry, but even in your entrepreneurial efforts, you have to make sure that your family is not part of the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you got to make sure that's a responsibility you have to take care of first. Now there are times where the family as a whole says we're going for it, you know, and you give time to it.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out how to make sure you're not putting them at risk too much to chase a dream.
Well, I think the thing is a dream. I think certain people, some stuff is a pipe dream, and then some stuff is a legit, like, we can do this. You know what I'm saying? And you have a business that you're doing. Like, because to me, sometimes I think if somebody's running a business and they're trying to do it full time, not even something like this, but something like if you got your own, your own cake business or food business or whatever business you have, and you're going full time, but it's slow. It's going to take time. You got to know that certain businesses take time for you to make a profit. Even if you're going full time, it's going to take some time to make a profit.
Yeah.
So I think those are a little bit different than a rapper. Because to me, as somebody that was borderline that, I was like, you still, like I said, unless you are doing street activity, unless you're doing something illegal to make money on the side, I don't see no other way you can fund going to a studio, paying, even if you're doing it yourself on your laptop, you still got to get stuff. You still got to pay for, monthly, whoever you decide to go with for your distribution. Shout out to Nectar. You know what I'm saying? We got one of the best Nectar distributions in town. You know what I mean? So you got those opportunities out there, but you still got to pay for those. Some stuff you still have to pay for if you want to put your video on places or whatever. To be an artist full time, if you don't have money, I know it's more easier now to be an artist because of the internet, and you could put your video on YouTube and all like that. But that's some stuff is stressful when you put your all into something and you only getting 20 views, 30 views, and you know what I mean, until you pop off, and then who's to say you're gonna pop?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So if you want to know how to try to balance, because again, we've had full-time jobs and done this for 17 years, right? So it's possible to still work on your passion while you're taking care of your family. Yeah. But it is challenging, and it may take you a little bit longer than you expect.
What would you tell somebody if the man is like, yo, I like y'all cool and all, but I got to get my music out, man?
Well, we know someone that literally sacrificed his whole family to pursue a career, and it did not, as far as I know, did not work out. So
he was like, my music was first before she came. I was like, dang.
Yeah. No.
But is it considered a hobby or is it considered a career,
Well, he was taking it super serious.
Yeah.
He was taking it super serious, but he literally lost his family for it.
Yikes.
And we know some other people who've done that too. So it's definitely not... No, God is not going to call you to do something where it's going to leave your family ruined.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
You may be putting your own desire above him if you do that. What I'm praying happens for us is that we've been able to sustain this thing over the years while taking care of our families. What we're praying for is that we'll have a breakthrough moment where, God will take care of us to the point and faithful with the small things that he'll take care of us and push us past where it's obvious that we need to go full time.
That's another thing too. I think people don't get that. Even in our space, sometimes it's like the obvious to go full time. The need is there, Like I always go back to Miles Minnick. I use him as an example. I remember when he first came here to our show a couple years ago, and he was talking about how he lost his job, but at the same time, God was providing for him, that he had shows back to back to back to back. And I've never heard of Miles Minnick prior to that. I was like, I don't even know who he is, but he had the West Coast like shows booked like for like months. And I think sometimes when God will show you like, okay, it's time to go full time. When I would say when the demand is there, when stuff is starting to open up that you was getting denied for years and stuff was slow, whatever. But now it's like, if you're a speaker, you're getting speaking engagement constantly, and it's conflicting with your work schedule. So a point where you're like, well, I can't do both of these.
So that's a new phase. Then it does take some bravery to say, I'm walking away from my job and doing this. Then it does take some sacrifice, and it does take some family buy-in to say, now's the time, we're doing this. You know what I mean? So there's a different phase. If you're not in that phase, don't do that. If you are in that phase, it takes prayer and cooperation to do it.
It sure does.
But then there's one other thing I wanted to point out about Fat Joe. There is this culture, especially in hip hop, of making fun of people and telling them to quit rapping. And I know some of it is good natured. It's, hey, this is not going to work out for you. You're not that good. Go do something else. But some of it kind of feels like you're kind of bragging about your own career, right? Some of it kind of feels like, I could do this. I'm good. You're not going to be able to do this. You know what I mean? And it's almost defeating in a way. It's like, I don't think that way. Whenever I come across an artist.
Should we though?
Maybe, but that's not, I'm not going to do
I mean, we're not, but I'm just saying, like, I've had ideas for like, a segment called You Fire or UPS is Hiring. Like, you don't want to be mean, but at the same time.
I get that, but I think some of the spirit it's set in is pride.
It is.
It's set in like I'm good, you're not good. Let me just tell you that you're not good. Okay, I get it. I get why you're saying it, but it is true that there's some people who think they're going to make it in rap. They're not going to make it in rap. It'll be better for you to stop now and save yourself some money. But again, nobody's going to willingly just figure that. They need to kind of experience it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's going to be like, you know what?
You know, it's the
right.
I'm telling you, I've seen so much stuff being a DJ. I've seen when people think they hot and they're on stage and a full crowd was there, and then when they got on stage, the full crowd left. I've seen that before. I've seen people like selling their CDs at places that you be like, oh, bro, you selling your CD? Yeah, like, oh.
But here's the deal. I'm gonna try and break this down as simple as possible. Whether you're good or not, what it actually takes to make it in the music industry is who do you know? How much power do they have? And do they like you?
Wow.
If they think you're good, or they see dollar signs attached to you, or they see energy building around you, then you have a chance to make it in the music industry. It doesn't matter if you're actually good or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So this idea that, oh, I'm good, I'm going to get a deal, that doesn't mean anything. If the right person doesn't see you and thinks in their own brain that you're good, it doesn't matter if you're good or not.
I was thinking about this yesterday. I think we had this conversation too about sacrifice. And I think when people hear that word, they automatically think the devil. And I think in the entertainment industry, I've seen what certain people have said, you know, I miss Christmas, I miss this, I miss my daughter's birth, I miss, you know, time with my kids, I miss my wife. I've done years where my wife was the only person at my house. Certain sacrifices that they did to build their career. And I think some people got to ask themselves before you get into this all the way. Like, you may just be making records and you trying stuff, but when you get all the way in, do you want to go all the way into this industry when you know you're going to have to make certain sacrifices that will affect your family and affect you and your relationship with your wife, your kids, your husband, you know, people in your family and stuff of that nature, where you're like, you look back 5 years from now, you may be the next guy that's about to pop in hip hop, you know what I mean? But you look back and you're like, man, I miss a lot of stuff that I regret now.
But even before you get to all that, the point is that if you're a rapper and you think you're going to make it big, there are just some business facts that will tell you if you will or not.
Even in this space.
Do you know somebody or not? That's the
Yeah.
bottom line. You could be as good as you want to be. If nobody knows you, it's not going to work. How big is your market? How big is the market for your music?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who make dope boom bap music.
Yeah.
If boom bap is like a
It's a
$10,000 industry.
Yeah.
$100,000 maybe.
Yeah.
How much a percentage of that industry could you possibly get? Versus
Yeah.
if you're trying to hit $1 billion industry, 5% of $1 billion, you could make a living off of that.
Yeah.
5% off of $100,000 industry, you're going to be struggling.
Yeah.
So there's just some logistics involved here that you can make the dopest boom bap in the world, but if boom bap is not hot, it's not going nowhere.
But here's the question, and here's another question. Do you think people, like, I don't know the percentages of how much annually Christian hip hop makes. So like if annually, let's say Christian hip hop just hits 500,000, based off what you just said, that's a struggle.
You're gonna struggle. And the thing is that this space that we're in right now is being cultivated, meaning the ground is being chiseled away. It's not laid yet.
Yeah.
There's not some easy path for you to just say, I'm going to do Christian hip hop. I'm going to get big. I'm going to get on Trackstarz. I'm going to get on Rapzilla. I'm going to get on the crew. And then I'm going to be able to do this full time.
Yeah.
That does not exist.
Yeah.
We're working on that. We're literally in the field chiseling that path for you. It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The people working on this right now are trying to grow it into that.
Yeah.
It's not ready yet.
So you don't think we have any successful careers out of this?
Of course.
Yeah.
But those are rare.
Yeah.
You know how many artists we know?
Yeah.
It's super rare.
Yeah.
So the point is that the people working in the space have to have a long view of this.
Yeah.
Over time, with a lot of work, a lot of people putting in effort, a lot of hours, we can get to the place where artists can come in the space, we figure out the good ones, and then they go.
Yeah.
But it's not there yet. So if you're coming in, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard. People are trying to figure out ways how to make this thing successful.
Yeah.
It's not already successful and you just jump in.
Yeah.
So you have to have a longer plan. So because of that, that's why jobs are needed. That's why other things are needed. Hopefully, we're praying for the day when it's going to be obvious.
Yeah.
But again, that comes with more problems.
Yeah.
If it is so easy, then now we got to figure out, are people just doing this because they want to get famous?
Yeah.
Are they really Christian? So it causes all kinds of, we're dealing with that now.
Yeah.
So this is hard, guys. So like, especially as a Christian in this world, it's not a piece of cake just going full time and doing. There's people that you think are full time that are not full time.
Yeah.
There's people running
side hustles.
big organizations that you think are full time that are not full time.
Yeah.
So don't think this is all nice and easy. This is hard. This is really hard. So keep praying. Pray for the people that are there working on it.
Yeah.
Because they need your grace. Because we've been doing this for 17 years now plus.
Yeah.
They need your grace because it's very difficult. But pray for the people who are starting to see the dollar signs and see it as a path to get to fame that aren't really about this. Like there's all kinds of things that are going on. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.